Jerome Jackson, bringing you another Superstars of the Ring right here on ccwrestling.biz. Now, last week, Bliss told you we were going to have some footage regarding our champion, Flashing Cash, Hayden Price, and this man of chaos, Julian Marks. Julian confronted Hayden at the end of one of his matches, and we're going to go straight to that footage right now.
That's how you get respect. That's how you get respect.
All right, CCW fans, you saw what happened, and we're going to have more information regarding Julian and Hayden Price right after our match of the week. And speaking of the match of the week, this right here is a blast. It pits our CCW Tag Team Champions, the Society of Sins, Peccavis and Omega, versus the Collectives, Future Evolution. I know you were saying Future Evolution. Yes, Future Evolution as the future Jonathan Wells and Daniel Anderson teamed together for the very first time, going after the tag team titles. And you'll see it right here on Superstars of the Ring.
Fella, you know, strange fella. His name literally means, you know what, I'm not even going to say what it means. He has definitely caused quite a bit of controversy in his short time in CCW. He's nearly ended 2 careers. I gotta be honest, I'm not sure if his head's even on straight.
You know, I just, these two gentlemen both are, you know...
Gentlemen? Gentlemen? That's a very loosely used word.
Right, you know, I try to give the benefit of the doubt, you know, sometimes.
Okay, the Future Evolution appears to have a little bit of a game plan here, as they certainly taken their time deciding who they wanted to start the match. I wouldn't want to be the first guy against any member of the Society of Sin. You okay? You appeared to walk away for a moment there.
Yeah, I went up there to retrieve the tag team titles for a moment. I think we're going to see some brawling here, Blitz.
There's not going to be anything conventional about this match at all. Not coming from the Society of Sin. Those are a violent group of people. You know, but you have a true ring technician in Jonathan Wells who understands ring psychology well. And, of course, the second generation superstar, Daniel Anderson, coming to the ring now. Quick tags. I'm going to make a note about that. Really, really smart way of thinking.
Yeah. And you know, you mentioned the veteranness. Remember, this is the longest reigning CCW champion we've ever had in the ring right now. Now he's going after tag team gold. You can't discount the drive and the heart in the future Jonathan Wells. And Daniel Anderson, that's just an asset to mold and make this team, you know, almost, I would say, close to as excellent as you could have.
Well, easy for you to say. Listen, Jonathan Wells, I'm not taking anything away from him. He's certainly working hard to become I believe a Triple Crown winner. He's won everything short of the ladies' title. and he'll no doubt be a multiple-time world champion for too long. Nice elbow drop by Daniel Anderson. Delivering a second elbow drop. He's keeping Pekovic down, which he's taking Pekovic's sole weapon away, and that's his weird frame of thought.
Right. That mind, you never know how it's working. It's not methodical, it's maniacal.
Maniacal is a very good word. But Future Evolution appears to be doing exactly the right thing. They're certainly in the game plan as they're controlling this match. Quick, frequent tags. They're not trying to go after anything big right away, but they're keeping Pekovic in check at every move.
Yeah.
If you notice something else, little bread basket shot right there as Pekovic is down. But they're keeping Pekovic away from the big man Omega. Omega unable to tag in right now as he's relegated to just standing there and watch what's going on.
You know, sometimes with certain opponents, you may feel it best to be lucky you aren't tagged in. And right now, at the moment, the way Future Evolution's taking it to Pekovic, nice. I'm sure Omega's glad he's not going in there at this moment.
It may very well be right, but nice low drop kick right there by Jonathan Wells as he takes it right to Pekovic. And Pekovic is a bit staggered right now.
And always ever coaching and training there at ringside, Mark Falcone.
A little bit of trickery right there by Jonathan Wells. He teasing Omega. I'm pretty sure once Omega gets into the match that Jonathan Wells may have to pay his dues for that one.
Daniel Anderson with that standing side arm DDT there, and now he's going back with a rear arm lock. Pekovic has just not even gotten an offensive maneuver in at this point, Blitz.
They are playing an absolute beautiful game against the Society of Sin right now. They're keeping Pekovic in their corner. They're making frequent tags. They're also, if you notice, they're focusing on one area of Pekovic's body, and that's his arm. And no matter what, even if Pekovic does come to at some point during this match, his arm's going to be real sore, and he's not going to have that weapon that he relies on.
Right, and you know, you mentioned Daniel Anderson and being second generation. Does that working on that one point of the body remind you not of the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, of Arn and Ole Anderson back in the day?
You're certainly speaking of some legendary superstars in their own right, that's for sure, and they dominated tag team wrestling for many, many years back in the old days. But Daniel Anderson, we have a little bit of a reversal of fortune here as now Jonathan Wells is locked in the Society of Sin's corner, and he's unable to move. Pekovic has a second win here.
Look at that look on Pekovic's face.
I think they've angered the evil man.
I don't know what you want to bring out. As evil as he is, just normal. What else can you drag out?
Now we've seen a tag, and Omega is entering the contest. Slow, powerful, methodical, 300-pound plus mastodon is Omega.
You know, of course, with Omega, you know, it means finality, if I'm correct. Is that?
It is the end. There is an alpha and there is an omega. In this case, he just means the end. But he's keeping Jonathan Wells in his corner. He's certainly putting every ounce of his weight into Wells. And the only reason I think now Wells is on his feet is for what you just saw. Omega's picking up, slammed hard down to the canvas.
Well, you know, this is for the tag team titles, as you mentioned yourself a moment ago.
Omega taunting, if you forgive me for a moment, Omega's taunting Daniel Anderson a little bit there, but still keeping Jonathan Wells in the ring, in the center of the ring.
All right, you knocked him off of the ring apron there for a moment. It's pin attempt there, but only a 2 count. I was going to say, he took that man out. Therefore, that kept Wells from, if he did, gaining momentum of be able to tag again.
We saw near retention right there as Omega was real close to keeping the World Tag Team titles. A couple of more stomps or elbow drops from Omega, and there's no doubt going to be a retention tonight.
Yeah, I think these gentlemen. Go ahead.
I was about to say, is like now you see both men in the ring, and there might be a little bit of a shady act by Omega there, but of course the referee admonished him. You know he's got a 5 count to leave the ring.
They're going to use all stops, Blitz. They're not going to allow these titles to go away easily if they do.
Listen, I don't do this often, if ever at all, but I got to hand it to the Society of Sin for keeping Society of Sin, forgive me, and for keeping everything within the parameters of what's right and what's wrong. They're keeping their men out of the match when they're not supposed to be in there. They're stretching the limits, mind you, with that 5 count. But we're seeing a little bit more of a technical side by Omega and of Pekovic.
Sometimes the skill set is stretch the limits, just don't break the rules.
Listen, it might not be too much of a bad idea to play Future Evolution's game because they're both very smart technical wrestlers. And of course, Daniel Anderson entering. Listen, he broke the hold. Whatever worked, worked. The referee is making sure that he gets back out of the match.
That's
but
great.
now you have two men down on their backs.
Well, you know, again, the wisdom and the common sense to help your opponent, or your partner, excuse me, when he's in dire straits.
It's a bit of a fight or flight reaction is what it was. And, you know, in the situation it worked. Wells just got tattooed with a super punch. Good God. All of Pekovic's weight. And, of course, Daniel Anderson has come in and broken up the count again.
Wow, that came out of nowhere, Blitz. That standing super punch was just right to the side of the temple. I'm surprised Wells wasn't out on his feet.
He wasn't on his feet. He was laying down. And Pekovic, of course, following up with a beautiful backsplash. But Daniel Anderson interrupted the count. And like I said, that fight or flight reaction came into play again. That's that ring psychology that I was talking about by Jonathan Wells, though.
Yes, Wells definitely caught Pekovic unaware there and off guard for a moment.
Caught him off guard, but I'm not too sure if he has it left in him to get to his own corner.
Yeah, the future crawling around down there. Grabbing a hold of Pekovic and rolling him in for a pin attempt.
Pinning attempt, yep.
Omega getting one leg into the ring, attempting to go in, but the pin was broken up before he got in.
Well, I'm not too sure if it mattered. Pekovic clearly had the wherewithal to know where he was at, and he kicked out at 2. Wells working his way back to the corner, working on Pekovic's leg now.
You see what they're doing, Blitz? They took away his ability to really fight appropriately by working on the arm, and then now they're working on the leg, trying to keep him down and give them the momentum and the upper advantage.
Another 2 count. And Daniel Anderson is definitely doing every he can just to wear Pekovic down at all stops. You know, I'm not too sure what you call this. You have a bit of a cross, he's changed it up a bit, but he had a bit of a cross arm breaker combined with a sleeper. That was a really unique looking move.
Yeah, you know.
And he locks it back in.
Anderson is, we talked about the maniacality of Pekovic.
I'd say innovative.
Right, the maniacality of Pekovic, the innovation of Daniel Anderson.
Now we got a little bit of a situation here. Pekovic right back where he doesn't want to be.
And then we got Anderson.
We got a couple of things going here. Anderson and Omega going at it.
The referee's about to lose control here.
Jonathan Wells working Pekovic over in the corner. Mark Falcone, I got to give him some credit. I was expecting a little bit more out of him, but he left Pekovic enough alone right there. Of course, you know, I'm never one to question Mark Falcone's integrity at all. 2 count by Daniel Anderson.
Diving fist drop down into that 2 count. You notice, Blitz, live here in attendance, the fans know about both of these teams, and they're kind of trying to fill it out and decide who they actually want to root for. And at this point, it seems like Future Evolution has them more behind them than.
I'm not too sure because here in the recent past, neither team has really been, you know, a fan-friendly team. But you're hearing a divided crowd. I just heard a little bit of an evolution an evolution chant. I don't know who would chant evolution. It's a stupid name. And we've heard quite a bit of the crowd pulling for the Society of Sin. So it's a really, really interesting scenario.
On the onslaught, once more, Daniel Anderson.
I'm going to go to the crowd for a little bit right here and just say that just proves one thing, that no matter who's in the ring, they want to see good action. You're only going to see that here in Continental Championship Wrestling. 2 premier tag teams right now.
Very good point there, Blitz. Give you a check mark on that one. If I was a teacher in class right now, you'd have got 100, my friend.
Welcome to the 3rd grade, folks. Brian Blitz got a gold star. We got a pinning combination here. Pekovic still able to kick out, but now can he get back to his corner? Well, certainly no stranger to vocalizing exactly how he feels. Double clothesline. Both men are down. Referee beginning the count. So now let's see what's going to happen here. Both men are real close to their corners, but who's got it within them? We see a tag by Pekovic and tag by Wells.
Yes.
And it appears that Omega's got the upper hand on Wells.
Back elbow to the head of Wells. Down goes Wells.
Not
Here
a
comes
very... Anderson coming back around to Pekovic. And we got a big splash in the middle of the ring. We got a couple of different situations going on here, but only a 2 count as Jonathan Wells kicked out.
Daniel Anderson,
of course. I'm not too sure if we're catching this, but Daniel Anderson certainly got it in for Pekovic right there on the outside of the ring.
And now the referee took his attention though from inside.
Wait a minute, what do we got? That's the Revelator, Kevin Toole.
Omega just got
Good
booted
God!
in the head.
Kevin Toole just booted Omega in the head. Now Jonathan Wells is going up to the top. Jonathan Wells is gonna fly. He's giving the call, ladies and gentlemen. And he delivers a thunderous elbow drop to Omega. And oh my God, we have new World Tag Team Champions.
I'm taking a guess at what we just saw here, Blitz. We have new tag team champions.
I think we are seeing the dawning of a very new, I don't want to say the D word, but a new era.
Well,
Future Evolution is now your tag team champions. And what is definitely proven to be a fantastic match.
definitely saw something out of the Society of Sin.
You saw quite a bit out of both members of Society of Sin.
Right.
I gotta hand it especially to Pekovic. He gave it his all. They're no doubt going to clamor for a rematch,
CCW fans, there you have new tag team champions as the collectives Future Evolution defeated the Society of Sin with the help, once again, of Kevin Toole. Now, as we're on our journey to Wrestle Bash, we have added one more stop, and that is right in Waycross, Georgia, May 10th. And on that date, you will see the two superstars we spoke about earlier in this broadcast, Hayden Price and Julian Marks, meet in the main event for the CCW Championship. Remember that date, everybody, May 10th. Julian Marks will be facing Hayden for the CCW Championship. I'm Jerome Jackson. I'm signing off for this week's Superstars of the Ring, and we'll see you in the ring at Waycross.